Let me introduce you the master of ceremonies, Stary Salone.
Dziękuję. Thank you, everybody. Are we on? We're live. Witamy Was. Dobry wieczór. Welcome, everyone, to the 97th WarsawJS Meetup. It's my pleasure and honor to be with you this evening. And in just within the next 3 meetups, we'll be at the 100th meetup. It just seems like an unbelievable task. No, I mean, come on. 100. Oh, and the coincidence is I'll also be 100 years old. So we're going to have a big party when that happens, okay? Guaranteed. It's really a pleasure to be with you and an honor to be the host or master of ceremonies for you this evening, WarsawJS. Oh, this is me again. There I am, Barry Salone. Thank you. We need to thank a few people. We have an organizing team, which consists of Piotr and Tara. Also, obviously, one of the founders of this organization community, Gabriela Chuha, who is helping us a great deal in doing the business, and Maciej Makniewski, we love you. Maciej, social media coordinator, a fantastic individual who just recently shared your birthday with an occasion. It was really a lot of fun. And we need to also thank my darling Louisa Haas, who is part of our tech team. And of course, Pavel, I always do this, Reknyo, sitting behind the camera over there. They help to make this all possible. It's really nice to see that it's a full house today. You know, we are post-pandemic-ish. Yeah, it's almost, prawie jesteśmy po. It's just very nice to see that people are willing to come together and to meet in person. This is where the energy really happens, and this is a fantastic community. We also have plenty of volunteers. Piotr Sławiński, where are you? I've seen you. Over in there, yeah, hey. Jacek Głowacz, thank you, over here. Konrad Jakoński, I don't see, but I know him very well. Give him a hand. Konrad, if you're out there, thanks. You see, you helped to make this all possible. And Grzegorz Markowski. Where are you, Grzegorz? Oh, I thought I saw him. Okay, anyway, all of these people make it possible for this to happen. It doesn't happen just by magic that people just show up. It's a little bit complicated, and it's really nice that people have the energy and the time to devote so that we can have a real community. It's not just a meetup. It's not just pizza and beer. It really is a community. What is WarsawJS? It says here that WarsawJS exists to support both professional and novice software developers within the IT community. I also am very inspired. We intend to accelerate the process of education by sharing our knowledge and experience. And folks, that's, again, I've said it many times, that's why I'm here. It's about the sharing thing. This is very valuable knowledge that you have, and many people would prefer to keep it in their pocket and maybe earn a lot of money. The idea is that we're a community, and we're looking to make each other better because, in my opinion, Warsaw has maybe the most vibrant IT community in all of Europe. So let's keep it at a very high standard, in fact, the highest, and this is how we do it. Our mission statement is connected with the Berlin Code of Conduct. Is anyone here for the first time? First timers? Witamy was, welcome. We need you to know that generally we have a rule which is called the Berlin Code of Conduct, which means that we're very polite with each other. We extend courtesy to people. We do not discriminate based on race, creed, color, gender, sex, religion, or any other physical appearance. Maybe I don't like your shoes. I don't know. We're going to be polite, and we're going to treat each other with kindness, and that helps us all to get along. So that's what we stand for. That is our mission statement. I'm racing through this, and really? Okay, so it's been a while. I came, I think, and started a few years ago. And, okay, I was wondering, yeah, okay. So, so there were a couple of thousand people in this community, and now it is thriving, it is growing. So make sure you tell someone, bring people with you, tell a friend, and let's hope that by next year, this time, we will, I don't know, double that number. The more the merrier. We really have a lot invested in this, in your talent and in our future. The future is technology, we all know. Thank you for joining our meetup at meetup.com/WarsawJS. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
And you can also visit our website at WarsawJS.com. I like the logo. We did have a couple of meetups in that building in the Pałac Kultury. Yeah? Were you there? Was anyone there? Yeah, I was there too. It's kind of cool, right? Like actually in the Pałac Kultury. This is like the center of Warsaw. And for those of you out there who don't know Warsaw, it is the jewel of all Warsaw. It's right in the center of town, and it's once you get inside, you understand that it's a wonder of architecture and technology in itself. We need to thank our sponsors, and we need to hear some noise here. So as I start talking, you just start clapping. Okay, let's please thank Box, Call Stack, CD Projekt, Daftcode, Evolution, Fresha, Prisma, and Xpang. Because without them, there will be no pizza and no beer. Also, no speakers, and also no lovely space like the one that we're in. So we are coming to you from the offices of Daftcode, one of our main sponsors. And they were fortunate or generous enough to offer us this space. I think it's kind of cool, right? It's like very modern. Well, I got lost coming in. Anyone else get lost coming in? I'm the only one? Oh, well, okay. So they gave me a card and they said, go. And I said, okay. Anyway, it's a lovely space, and they're really generous to let us have this meetup here. And in a moment, you'll be hearing from one of the members of their staff. There will also be a contest today. So for the lightning talks, if you're brave enough, courageous enough to come up here and give a lightning talk for 5 minutes, maximum 5 minutes, you could win a 100% license to a discount for JetBrains license. 100% discount. 100% free. A free JetBrains license. Okay, so think about it. If you have a topic you'd like to present, we'd like to hear from you. And now, finally, before we have our main speakers, I would like to, a couple of announcements. I've already announced that we have a second room behind this room. In case, in the shuffling around, it gets a little tight and extra people come, there is more space there. You'll be able to also see and hear the presentation. And also, if you need to leave, this is an important information because you feel where we are, right? We're like on the 95th floor or something. If you need to leave and it's a little bit complicated, please find one of the Daftcode staff members who are wearing the Daftcode hoodie, which I'm going to try desperately to get. That thing I'm very interested in. So find someone from the Daftcode staff and they will help you to exit whenever you want to leave. They asked me to make that announcement. And finally, before we go on to our main speakers, I'd like to invite to the stage. Oh boy, it's Gosha Koshnik. Gosha Koshnik from Daftcode. Give her a welcome. Give her a warm welcome. I think you have this microphone.
Present your view with the comments.
Say again, please. Mm-hmm. Yes.
If Gosha speak now, we need your microphone.
This one?
Yeah. Or you move.
One, two, three. Is it working?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Hello, guys. It's nice to see you here at our office. Welcome to Daft Space. And I hope that you've already grabbed your beverages, some snacks, and you're ready to go. So Let's start with a few words about the place where we are right now. This is DaftSpace, and it's an office space where Daftcode teams work together with ventures from our portfolio. It may seem a bit confusing right now, but it will clear up in a second. My name is Małgorzata, as Barry mentioned already. I'm responsible for employer branding at Daftcode. And today I will shortly explain you what we do as Daftcode and who we are. So, the first thing that I believe you should know about Daftcode is that we are venture builder, or simply put, a startup factory. And what it actually means. It means that we create our own startups, we invest in promising ventures we find on the market, and we grow both of them using our resources. Here are some examples. Here are some examples of the venture builders that are on the global market. And some of them you may know, at least the ventures. Here's the Rocket Internet and successful venture Zalando. Another example, Obvious Ventures and well-known Twitter. So there are some major differences between working in a venture builder and working in a software house, and I wanted you to see them clearly. Working in venture builder means that you work for a specific startup, you decide on technology and product, you grow with the startup. You get the opportunity to develop your skills and develop your career along with growing startup. On the other hand, working in a software house means you work for external clients, clients decide on technology and product, and you have a specific career path. And if working in a venture builder sounds cool, the way we work here, we're actually hiring right now. We are looking for a front-end developer to one of our ventures, Travelin. And Travelin is an algorithmic search engine for combined flights, which helps you to find connections of flights of airlines that usually do not cooperate, like, for example, Wizz Air and Ryanair. And Travelin helps travelers save up to 80% to find the flights 80% cheaper. If you'd like to know some more details about the opening, you can reach to Gosia Zwolinska, who's actually here with us tonight, not right now, but she'll join. Or reach her on LinkedIn and ask anything you'd like about the opening. So, thank you very much. I hope you will enjoy your time here at DaftSpace. And in case you're worried that you'll get lost, the office is actually a full circle, so no worries about that. Thank you very much. Have a good time here.
Gosia! Gosia explained quite a few things that I didn't understand. The difference between the two, a software house and the type of venture, what was it called?
Venture builder.
Venture builder. Very important and very interesting for me, very interesting information. I've been learning a little bit about technology, being working adjacent to you guys for the past few years. So although I'm practically 100 years old, there's room in my mind to try to imagine what could be. And before we go on to our next speaker, I just want to repeat this. I'm going to say it 100 times. I think, how many people here would volunteer 1 hour a week to teach a high school student how to code? Okay, this is very, very important because I'll tell you, these people, these kids in high school, they are our future. They have no computer education. When I found out that there's no formal computer education in high school, I was horrified. I think it's an important agenda to make sure that primary, secondary school, that no one graduates from high school in Poland without being proficient in reading and writing at least one computer language, and you guys can make that happen. Organize that initiative. Thank you very much. Okay.
I'm playing turning off on your microphone. One moment.
I'm having technical assistance here. What it is.
Two.
And this guy, he's great. By the way, This guy is inspiring. He brought us all together. He's also really helped to introduce me to what's going on, because I have a slightly clearer view now of the future and where technology fits into my life. It's not just my smartphone. Okay, it's not just my smartphone. It's not just my, now I have like 5 laptops. It's about understanding where we're going. So you guys are guys with forward vision. You're not just, what do you call them? Celniks, robotniks. What do you call this thing? Automatons? I don't know. You have minds, and you're a part of who will design the future. Okay. Our first speaker.
Łukasz will be in the end.
Okay. That we'd like to introduce to the stage. I'm going to take this at a pace so everyone understands me out there in WarsawJS land. Is Sergey Zamulka. Sergey Zamulka. And this is all in front-end development. All in front-end development. Welcome.
AI, but you're getting there.
How do you say it again?
AI. It's artificial intelligence, not all.
Oh, AI.
Yeah.
Even better.
Thank you, man. Hey lads, so name's Sergey. I'm a lead software developer from the project Red, and I'm doing some fancy AI shit on frontend. Oh, sorry, I wasn't allowed to say that. I was able to disable my microphone. I'm doing this already.
Do you need this one?
No.
AI, of course. AI in front-end development. I read all in.
No worries.
Okay. Helen there.
Come on, just try to me.
Man. That's a really good one, actually.
Okay.
Really is. I will.
Move your microphone.
Share screen, window.
The second one. You can share window. The second one would be my presentation.
The entire screen. I need
Okay.
to that's the entire screen, because otherwise it's not going to. Okay. So full screen.
Yep, that would be nice.
Mamero? Alright, let's go. Come back.
Can you actually see it? Cool stuff. Again, once again, name's Sergey, working for the project Red, and I'm here to talk a little bit about an AI. Wow, fancy PowerPoint effects. I love this. All right, so artificial intelligence and machine learning in general might be as a pretty much daunting subject. You might heard something as generative adversary, artificial intelligence, a neural network for recurrent or so-called RNNs things, and nobody actually have clue what they do about. And I'm here basically to explain what those and show you a few of the case studies. This is not a workshop. It's not a tutorial. You can Google the shit out of it and find how to implement anything on a front end within like 30 seconds. So why actually bother? So basically, preparing for this lecture, I visited a pretty great place, which is called City of Lords. And there I actually was on a Promised Land festival. And there were, if you never heard about it, it's actually a festival for an artistic people who was gifted talent by God, not like myself. And everybody there was ranting about the AI, how they actually afraid of these taking their jobs, because nowadays you need only to put some like sort of a prompt into Stable Diffusion or any familiar network, and you're getting the image, which basically makes an artistic person redundant. And then the really great guy and apparently friend of mine, Enric, came to the stage, and he's a sculptor, and he's working for 12 years in a row for Blizzard and doing cool stuff for World of Warcraft. And he told that it's just a tool. Why are you people all afraid of it? And it's actually inspired me to share this simple quote. It's just another tool. And I thought, yeah, that's a great thing to share basically with the front-end community, because what community is better incorporate another tool, so-called, where the common misconceptions that if you blink in a glimpse of a second, another framework developed. So basically, keeping that in mind, I'd love to share with you another quote that basically some long before, at the very beginning of my journey, inspired me to learning AI. That technology is affect everything, every part of society, kingdom, or empire. It is based on what's available to humanity at this point. End of quote, repeat the line. Basically, what I'm trying to say by this is that AI is already there. It's easy to use. It's easy to basically incorporate into any given technologies that you do have right now, whether it is your pet project, whether it's something production, go there, pitch it to your product owner or whoever makes this decision. So if it's there, why don't we try to use it? And I have to say that I didn't have this mindset when I only joined CZPR a few years ago, and I wouldn't like to take the whole credit for this presentation my own, because I work with shit tons of brilliant people who basically inspire me, as I already shared with you for this talk. And keeping that in mind, this year we on a hiring spree, so if something catches your eye or glimpse of interesting information in this talk, please do not hesitate to contact whoever you see on LinkedIn with CDPR as their working place, or just visit the website. And that's how it works in the front end, I heard. So, long story short, I would like to keep this talk in two parts, so to say. In the first part, I would like to share with you what would be the actual difference in between of AI and traditional software development and whatnot, because there is no much difference, actually, in my humble opinion, especially when you think of it from a front-end perspective. So, with traditional software, you having a handcrafted decision logic, and everything is always rules-based. Any code looks something like this. You've got some condition, some criterion to compare it with, and you do something, or elsewhere you do something else. It's pretty clear, and it's obvious how to actually implement it. But imagine if you let's go down this path. Imagine if you're CTO of some sort of photo streaming sharing platform, and you basically about to forbid any explicit content, which might be a hard thing to do, because you will have to have a lot of rules for that. And it's easier to do even with the traditional software. It's easy to determine forbidden content comparing to other images. But what I'm actually like you to think about it, the Pornhub community. It's actually top of the shelf engineering community into AI image recognition service. Because think of an Instagram. It's obviously that you cannot post dick pic something or something like that. But what about the Pornhub, where explicit content is actually allowed and only one single glimpse of this content is forbidden? How to actually train neural network or even traditional software to determine this sort of really explicit content? And basically that's when you incorporate AI. And whenever you use AI, your software is going to look something like this. It's still a traditional software, but instead of comparing everything to some criteria, you do have a method of some sort that actually checks whether your image contains explicit content or it does not. It's all fun and stuff, but obviously the tricky part is how to implement this contains explicit image, especially on a front end, what it has to do with the front end, and how do I do it within like given powers with JavaScript, Angular, or React, or anything else. And with that, I would like you to share with you my first example. When enters AI, basically, especially to the front end, you use it with help, which is called API, because obviously every single AI compares images to given data set, and there is no just room for that to store everything on the front end. So basically everything comes to an API and usage of such. And that is not automation, that's called augmentation. You take part of the process that basically would take hours, dozens of hours, or maybe hundreds of hours for any software developer to actually incorporate all this logic, because it's quite obvious if dig, please do forbid this image. But it's might getting harder and harder with all the tricks and whatnot you do have on the internet. So let me share with you my first example, and so we slowly transition to front-end AI applications, the actual usage of those into front-end. And this exact task that we just had as an example can easily be downed to the Google Vision API. That's basically a tool that might surprise you already doing this. It has a lot of pre-trained models, it's using photo label generation, and it's seamlessly updated. To be precise, it's so seamlessly updated because yesterday, in order to check everything in order with my slides, I actually found out that you no longer have to validate the text that image give you. The Google Vision API only recently got an update for check whether image explicit or not. And it's easier to incorporate it, and you see the GIF of an example where you check reCAPTCHA and do some stuff, because of course we wouldn't like robots to use robots, people. So let me share with you a few examples from the CDPR where we actually do use the artificial intelligence on a front end. One thing would be for label text. You see here the screenshot of so-called application web launcher. That would be things that you see in before of launching Cyberpunk, if you ever played in it, whether you launch it from Steam, Epic, or any other gifted shop. So basically, recently, the Cyberpunk got update, and inside of this red launcher thingy, you see the news. It might be straightforward, like, of course, you got an API for news and you show the list. But the thing is that Red Launcher and the whole Cyberpunk uses is actually support of a text. Whenever you have a sort of inability of seeing coherent things, there is text-to-speech support of an element in the whole game, and the text system to actually navigate through the whole application from zero to hero. And it's quite an easier, you might think. You actually take a news, and at the phase where the news prepared by marketing content team or anything else, you just add a few texts and here you go. But it doesn't work like this, unfortunately, only because let's count with me and do some sort of a simple math. What we actually do have here, it's launcher simultaneously store 22 to 20 news per one game. There is 18 languages in the game itself, so basically there is 18 languages in Red Launcher. If you've got this multiplied, it's more than 1,500 actual news, and moreover, you multiply it by 12 only because every 12 hours you've got news updated, and it's more than 90,000 elements of units updated per day. There is no actual human capacity to provide tag for every single news of this. And what we actually come down to, we started using at first the Google Vision API, but we had to ditch it because of legal stuff and whatnot, and we implemented it through the Angular and TensorFlow technology. It's basically pretty much the same thing what Google API does, but it learns on our pre-trained data. We don't need so much data like Google Vision API does, because news are pretty predefined. And yes, as a front-end community, as a member of front-end community, I'm proud of it because there is actual Angular and JavaScript inside of Cyberpunk. Another great example would be the Red Launcher background. And I have to warn you, because I'm pulling the fast one here on you, this technology no longer in use, because with like going on update of the game, the cool, beautiful background that changes rapidly was ditched completely on the front-end side, but it was there for a time being. Basically, whenever you progress through the game and you save data, proceed through the whole game, we were changing the background of the actual application. And it's quite easy. You're getting through the C++ the data from the saved data, and then you have male V on the background. If you've got a female V, you're changing it to female. If you progress to the end of story, you've got sort of a trailer. If you're actually playing endgame content, you've got completely updated background. It's quite simple and easy, but please do keep in mind that Cyberpunk is a top-notch game, and it actually should be playable on 16K or whatnot monitors. And imagine this, you having these four examples of a background. One of them is a trailer. Again, 18 languages is there. You just cannot physically download those 4K images and put them inside of the launcher. So what actually to do here? Download them while user progress through the game, but there is such thing as a bandwidth. Basically, you might be limited by the fact that Cyberpunk actually allows user to play offline. What would you do if there is no internet connection or internet connection keeps interrupting? And so we did introduce TensorFlow again, because I working on daily basis with the front end, I working on daily basis with AI. Why don't incorporate one into another? And what we actually did, we start seamlessly download those backgrounds based on the speed with which user plays, again analysis of the say data, and based on the fact that user actually keep having disappearing internet connection, which is basically, in my understanding, the really grand solution. If you didn't guess by now, I actually cannot share with you any single code or anything that was done within the game for obvious reasons, marketing, PR, but what I can share you with, it's basically examples of those tools within different pet projects of mine that I did some time. If you really wish to share those knowledge like TensorFlow, maybe this would be a Brain.js, maybe that would be the Google API Vision, please behold my stuff. I do this on a daily basis. I'm looking for new AI technologies and actually incorporate them into the web stuff. So if you're eager to, please do check it out. So keeping this in mind, I do have one thing to share instead of conclusion. It's quite an obvious. If you can do an API, you can do AI even right now. Go pitch it, because technology is not standing. Actual shift is vilifying here on daily basis. And if you have an even small investment of a time, of your own working time for which you're getting paid, I suppose, into the artificial intelligence on the front ends, so I shit you not, that might be actual use case for you in future to come. Thank you, much obliged. I so much obliged.
Thank you. Question?
Sure.
I think we have a microphone. Is this thing working? Does anyone have any questions for our speaker? We have time for a few questions. If you have any questions about this presentation, please feel free to ask. Here, take this because they have to hear you online. Yeah.
What can you tell us about how TensorJS downloads the model for inference? Is it downloading it, or is it just always going to be just doing an API call to some server? Can you have it like somehow in the front end, the model be stored in local storage or something?
Well, to actually download the video, you need to make just a simple post request. What it actually does, well, it's partially incorporated into frontend. We do have a Qt browser as a native technology, and we do need it only because there is no actual way to control the bandwidth of actual download from a frontend perspective. So I would say it's like 95% of download through the frontend, because again, it's just downloading of the file. But we do need native here that would be C++ Qt browser framework to control the bandwidth. Does it answer your question?
I think so. Yeah, it's fine. It's okay.
Is it good?
I mean, it's fine.
You have another question? Because I don't see anyone else raising their hand. Anyone else have a question about that first presentation? You have another question?
No.
In that case, thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
And thank you, guys.
Always curious. I'm fascinated and curious about AI. And you gave me a very kind of basic understanding of how it might be applied right now, what's happening in our current environment, and I really appreciate that.
All in front end, right?
All in front end. It's okay. That's my end. I am front end. I've known nothing about that other end. So let's see. We're going to try to bring up our next speaker in a moment and just make sure that technically everything is functioning well. Thank you very much. That was a very decent and informative conversation. By the way, there is more space also in the other room, just a few seats in case anyone is interested. I just want to remind you. Okay, our next speaker coming to the podium is going to be Krzysztof Łokaj, and he's talking about large-scale refactoring. Large scale, huh? Okay. So please welcome him to the stage, everybody. Give him a hand. Yeah. That's right. Thanks.
Przerwa techniczna 2 minuty.
O.
Dobra, 5.
Ale nie rozkładajcie się. Się. This się thing, it took me a while. This is really 2 minutes, a real 2 minutes. Prawdziwe 2 minuty. Oh, I could guess where they're going. Yes, they're. And remember, it is 2 minutes, so find your way back soon, folks.
We heard 5.
You heard 5.
Yeah.
It's true. He said 2. That actually means 3. And I don't have my gong here today, so I won't be able to sort of like summon the people back. Are you good, Łukasz?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So I'm going to drag them all back in here before you start because I don't want them to miss any of this information. Large-scale refactoring. What does that mean? Does anyone know what that means? You know what that means? I'm going to put you on spot here. So what does large-scale refactoring mean exactly?
Well, I think it's to clean up our code to work better
on a larger scale.
Yeah.
Large scale refactoring. So to clean up, it's like cleaning house so that you can make room for more. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. See, you learn something every day. I very much appreciate that. Yeah? Nothing so far. You ever missed anything? Oh, one. Oh, you just got here. Yeah, you missed the important one. AI, man. Come on. Yeah, it was about AI. Yeah. Don't worry, you can watch it online. By the way, if you miss any of these, you can also catch this online on our YouTube station, WarsawJS on YouTube. You can find all of these talks there if you happen to miss any of this information. Okay, I'm going to go grab them now. You almost ready? Okay. I'm going to take the microphone into this area. Okay, everybody, we're ready to go. Yep, let's go. It was literally 2 minutes, and we don't want to keep our speaker waiting. So thank you very much. Don't worry, it'll be here when you get back. I promise. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please, zapraszamy. Łokaj, and again, it's large-scale refactoring. Welcome him to the stage. Glad you're back. Here we go. Yeah, give him a hand. Yeah.
I don't need that.
Well, they have to hear you on the YouTube.
I have this.
You got that?
I have this, so I think it's fair enough. Okay. So, hello everyone. I'm going to talk about large-scale refactoring. What's that? We are doing that in Fresher recently so much time. So before I will go, I will define what is large-scale refactoring. Every scale refactoring can be different one, so I am going to define what is it. In Fresher, we have a lot of teams, different ownership, and sometimes I need to go forward. We need to bump some dependencies and do changes which influence totally code, which we don't have any information how it works. There's the same it is when you have using, I don't know, Webpack, and Webpack is bumping to new version. You need to update others application and switch to new solution. Yes. So for me, large-scale refactoring, it will be like touching areas which we totally don't know, and it's global change. So examples can be different. It can be bump my version of dependency, change low-level building tool, replace toolset dependencies, some function across whole the system. So first, I will start a bit theoretical. Maybe it will be boring for some of you. So define the goal. Everything what you are going to do, it will be bad decision one day. Yes, if you are choosing Webpack, one day it will be some new tool, and Webpack will be bad. Yes, so whatever you are going to do, start with why. Make problem statement and what you are going to choose and write it down. So as well, it's important to define the profit. Don't make refactor only because Angular is more popular now than React, so I'm going to switch. Yes, it's not giving the value of the business. So if you want to get capacity, find the value of this, what you are doing, because if not, you are switching technology for the next technology. So Webpack migration to Vite, for example, can be speed of build. JS migration to TS migration, it can be better developer experience. Remove Lodash, for example, decrease size of the application. Yes, it's example of the values. Of course, depending of migration, of refactoring, it will be different. Of course, if you are not touching your code, ensure that you can do it safely. Yes, so you need tests, good testing, and cooperation of different teams, for example, to check your changes. It's always worth it. So how to process with the refactoring? Still theory, incremental approach. We don't need to do everything in one time. If you are migrating TypeScript, let's start slowly, starting from one file, we are switching to the new one. Yes. And to do it, we need supporters. Our supporters are going to help us to go with this approach. And what is important, if you are creating the new solution, it's worth it to limit creating legacy solution. Yes, so we can have mess in the one room. Everything is written in JavaScript. It's using build some old legacy stuff, and everything is using jQuery. You can have some separate application, and it's written in React, and you are just switching, make people switching from one bad solution to the new one, which in the future, as I want to remark, will be bad. So big bang approach. Sometimes you cannot do it if you are building, I don't know, building tool. It's hard to do it. You need to do it just by one pull request. Do it almost immediately. Yes. So some changes can be hard to split for the small task, and for it, I want to talk exactly how we can process with these changes and what will be the best tool for it. So we are going to work with Lodash get. Who use Lodash and who use get? Lodash get is very familiar for every people who tried ever TypeScript migration because it has one problem. So our problem statement. Lodash get is responsible exactly to take from the object depending on some path, some value, and if not, return default value. And starting with why, what the problem it is, generally if somebody is writing but in the TypeScript, it's very tricky to get any type. Just our Lodash is losing this value. So in theory, we have TypeScript checking, but we are getting any. So our TypeScript checking is passing. It's very good for some people because we have always green check on Circle CI because any is any. Everything works, but unfortunately, it doesn't give us security. So it is my problem statement, which I am going to use. We can think as well always when you are going to talk about it with your company, with if you have front-end guilds or something different, you are going to have some blame discussion, who chose that, it was the bad solution, and so on. So in our case, who chose Lodash, it is, we are writing, going to cooperate on very legacy code, which has over 15 years, and it doesn't use ECMAScript 6, because as we know, there is one new solution. There are alternative solutions. We can create some new abstraction with improved like typing. We can cast these types like check by slint or something. Is it explicit to any? If yes, then we can force people to use by slint assign types or use just optional chaining. Of course, every of this solution maybe one day will be bad. So it is our example of how it looks in Lodash, and below how it's going to look in our like final code if you go with the third solution. So let's start with refactorization, and I want to talk exactly about tooling, which will be the best friends with large-scale refactorization. And generally, whatever kind of refactor we are going to do, you can do it in two ways. First, just do it and have hope that it will work. That's a cool solution. Second, it's to analyze code. If we want to analyze code which is totally not in our ownership and so on, I mean, it's cool, but it generally takes time. So here we are going with AST. Who of you use ever AST? Okay, who of you use ESLint? Better question. More hands. So every ESLint use under the hood AST. AST is abstract syntax tree. What is important is not assigned to programming language. If you switch to PHP, to Ruby, to Swift, everywhere you will have AST. AST, it is abstract syntax tree. Instead of thinking what this code is exactly doing, you are focusing how it is built. So instead of saying theory about it, I prefer to show it. So I switch here. So I have AST Explorer on the left. I have some code. Yes, it is like, for example, our HTML. And from HTML, it's created DOM. Yes, document model, and we have on the right, our AST, our abstraction syntax tree. So we can see exactly that we have import declaration. It's created from source, which is named Lodash. We have as well here, for example, we can click get. I can see that it is some call expression which use member expression, because on Lodash we want to use the method get, and so on. Yes, so I am focusing exactly how it is built. ESLint rules works exactly on the same way. They are finding exact AST, exactly the way of building, and they are just blocking that. So if you want to go with this, we can create our custom ESLint rules, our own linters. So if you want to avoid this behavior to be like repeated once again, we can start creating the rules. If you are creating the rules as well, remember about educational perspective. Yes, so just don't use, I don't know, Lodash get, but don't use Lodash get and use optional chaining or our new solution which we are going to propose. So can we not just replace get with optional chaining? Because ESLint rule in our case, I mean, with Lodash get is quite simple. Yes, always we can replace it to optional chaining in all examples. So cannot we just do it? The problem is that it's taking time. If you have one file to replace, I think it will be like 5 minutes, like to switch to the branch, create pull request, and you can go forward. But if you have more files, it will take hours. Of course, it is repetitive work. You are going always to do the same. Yes. So as every programmer, if you have 5-minute task, which you can do in 5 minutes, but you are repeating that, you will try to automate that. And there is some tools for it, code modes. Who of you use ever code modes? Two less hands, and I am sad of it, honestly, but I hope it will change. About code modes, from my company already talked Andrew, who had a speech about it 4 years ago, but I am going to make revision of it.
Actually,
so
I can tell you that whoever is using Strapi, for example, then under the hood it's using code mode for migration. So if you have Strapi, then you might have been using code mode.
Yeah, similar. I think Prisma is using something similar, and the same like code generator. If somebody is using code generators, for example, to create types from GraphQL stuff or from Swagger, it will be very similar thing. Under the hood, we have exactly some AST, which is going to analyze some structure, which we are getting, and give us new code as the output. So I am going to try write migration. Our migration, our startup, like if you open JSON code, JS code shift, you will always see this code. It is from what we are starting. So we will have some file and root source, and depending on it, we are going to make some operation. What is the best? Our friends to check what's going on in code. Some of you use debugger. I don't think so. Everybody knows it's console log the best. Yes. So I am going just to run it. JS code sheet is getting like transformer as the entry, and is going to get file on which it is going to operate. So in my case, I will work on some small file which is Lodash. here, and I am going here to get the tree of our nodes. What is important, JS CodeShift is working on some idea of collection of nodes. What is node, what is collection? Collection can be many nodes, yes? And node, it's exactly way of writing the code. So for example, it can be code expression, member expression, operation, condition, everything. So how looks our thing in AST Explorer? Oh, I click again. Something incorrect. Never mind. Okay. So on the left, I have my simple code, and I need to find the Lodash. How many Lodash we are having here? Usage? 2. Yes. So now I am going only to show that, thankful for JS CodeSheet, I can find just 2 Lodashes. I am going to simplify as well, as we don't have so much time. So I am going to find or call expression, which is going to be used on underscore. I suppose that underscore is Lodash in my case, and is going to use get method. So as you can notice here, we have 2, and all of them are call expressions, so it is calling the function. Okay. So I am going to find code is visible, I suppose, or a bit bigger. It's okay, I hope. Okay, so I'm going to, in our root source, I'm trying to do find. I don't know why I have any type. I'm going to try to find J call expression. I'm a bit afraid that I don't have type support. But let's see what I'm going to have. The result should be collection. Okay, so we have 3. 3 obviously is not equal to. Where is one more call expression which we can find here? So one more usage of the function. Get object, yes? Okay. So let's see what's the difference. Get object is used, it's calling. So what is calling exactly that? In our case, it's identify get object. It's not what we are looking. Yes, it's not underscore. No, it's get. It's not. So we need to filter that. We have second method for it. And we are going to get here node. Of course, the best friend is console log. So we are going to have 3 methods here. As you see, it's a lot of code which is written. And under the hood, we have call expression. And call expression is going to have one function which is called callee. Callee, what exactly called it? I don't know why I don't have supports of TypeScript. It would be nicer to have it. I think I just forgot to do npm install. Let's see if it's going to work. It would be a bit easier for me. Oh, no. Okay, I don't have it. Doesn't matter. So we are getting.
Reload the window. Starting TypeScript should be covered.
I think it should without this. Okay.
Should we try to put off and on again?
Good idea.
No, you can go to commands, command palette, and do the reload window.
Let's try. Okay. Okay, never mind. We'll do without TypeScript. I mean, I am going to show as well migration from TypeScript to JavaScript later at the end. We will change it. So, or maybe no. Okay, so we are going first in callee find. Callee, it's going to be collection. Collection can be different node, as I said. Yes, it can be argument passed as variable. It can be as passed as some method, whatever. So I need to ensure that inside my callee type is going to be member expression. Yes, because I'm going to use call method, which is exactly taken from the Lodash. So I am going to add some condition. I will as well ensure, as I don't have types, that I have what I have. So I am getting here member expression, which I want to filter. If not, as in every filter, I don't want to take. And if it is member expression, I will have access to two different things. For the object, main thing from which I'm going to take some member, so our load method. So I am going to check first, is it Lodash? So from my node callee, I am going to get, I'm going to check if type, if object type. The problem is types, which makes writing code much harder. Identifier, and if it is, its name, in our case, will be underscore. If I didn't make any mistake, I should have the new number here. And instead of 3, I should get 2. I got 2. Cool. I am now able to find the Lodash. I am still not able to find method get. Yes, I want to focus only on the migration method of the get. So method will be very similar. It will be still identifier. Instead of object, I am going to use property. And name, in my case, it's going to be get. So the result is nothing. Nothing has changed. I am able to find the Lodash, and I am able to find the method of get. Cool. So now I can exactly focus on replacing this my usage in programmatic way. So I am going from our get usage. I am going to make for each on it. And I am going to get AST path from which I can read node. Okay. From AST path, thing which I can do, I can replace it with the something new. Before we were using identifier. What was identifier as node of the type? Definition of a variable. Yes, in our case it was Lodash, it was method. So let's try to replace our Lodash for something which programmers love to do. So what programmers have there, when you are born as programmer, like in Sparta way, if you are not saying hello world, you are like going to be disappeared from this word. Okay, so I'm going to create identifier. I will keep small letter, and I'm going to do hello world.
3 minutes left.
No worries. In the worst case, I am going like to decrease that. I replace. Is it cool? Is it cool? Have I used something what was connected with this code? Have I analyzed this code? Not at all. So in every node, if we focus exactly on our Lodash, from where I will find source of things which I need to take. Arguments. First argument, object from which I want to take. Second, it will be path. Third, it will be default value. So from my node, I'm going to take arguments. First is going to be object, path, default value. Cool. Okay. I am going just to print just default value currently. Okay, we have some default value. My default value was default, so nothing has changed exactly in this code. It was default. It was default. So as we don't have time, I am not going exactly to focus on members. I will try to make just this OR operator. So object, path, in future we can add, and default value at the end. So in case we have default value, what we are going to want to have, we won't have object or default value. So what kind of node expression is going to be? In our case, logical expression. So how I was creating before, AST replace, instead of identifier, I am going to use logical expression, which as the first argument is going to get which kind of operation, later what will be on the left side, and later what will be on the right side. Of course, I want to replace it that only when I have default value defined. Okay, done, operation done on the file.
Yeah, but
I replace it.
that should be object plus concatenated with file.
Yes, I mean, I am out of the time, so I don't want to switch. I just want exactly to show what we can do. Go forward with that. So this, I will show as well how to address that after the hours. In that way, I will say. But what is important, I did operation on the one file. If I would like just to limit my migration to it, I'm able like to pass all the files and operate that on different files as well. So in that way, I pass, for example, next file here, exactly ignoring currently the path and going with default value.
I think we could use the whole workshop on this, really. This is, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
I think everyone's clearly interested, right? This is good material.
Give me
information. Yeah.
half of the minute.
Okay,
and I will go.
for it.
So the question is, if we are going with this approach, should I automate everything? Because it's time consuming, don't you think? Focus on the biggest number of cases which you have in your code. You know your code exactly. Do you want to edit imports, for example, to use it? Go only with that. Yes. So exactly focus on your things. If you migrate to TypeScript, it can be just, for example, rewriting the props from prop types in React components. Yes, it's still saving you some time, and it can be
9,
cool use.
8.
If you are,
7.
don't waste 6 hours of migrating things which you can do just in 1 minute, and you are doing one per year. Code mods ready to use. There are a lot of code mods which you can use as well. On the list, you will find code mods which are doing exactly this kind of work, and you don't need to write them almost never. And that's all. Thank you.
Okay, before we ask Krzysztof any questions, I just have a question. Może ktoś wie, co to jest? To jest Pigwa.
Yeah. No.
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 I know.
Again.
Pigwowiec.
Zapach, no.
Pigwowiec.
Tak myślałem.
Nie. Pigwowiec.
Właśnie, okay, so for those of you who speak only English. Okay, and how do I do that? Unmute, okay. So for those of you who speak only English, I don't know if I can translate Pigwa, Pigwowiec. This is a very fragrant fruit, which one of our guests was kind enough to bring. He says, if you like, you can taste it. All right, does anyone have any questions for Krzysztof about this presentation? We have time for 2 questions. Sebastian, huh? Oh no, you're next, Sebastian. I'm not going to throw it. No.
What is this? Okay, here like that. Okay. This whole AST3 thing is really cool, but in that example, couldn't we just use regular expression? Because that would be my first thought.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it depending exactly on the case. I didn't want to exactly choose the cases because some of the cases, for example, import replacement as well, we could go just with Command-Shift-F and replace all. So everything depends on the case. I exactly wanted more to show how to analyze, take something from some part of the code and move it to different part of the code.
Would you always do that, or would you sometimes just use?
In my opinion, tool depends on what you want to get. Yes, if it is possible to do by regex or I don't know your JetBrains or Visual Studio Code, in my opinion, taking next functionality for it only like to practice is like wasting of the time. So everything depends here.
Good question. Next question.
Thank you very much. So this is, I think, the first time that I'm asking two speakers a question. Guys, you, Sergey and Krzysztof, could you work out together somehow how you could mix TensorFlow and CodeShift and could you fix my code? Thank you.
That's the real question. Augmentation plus automation. Yes. How does that work?
Yeah.
Was that a real question?
Yes.
Okay, somebody answer that. You have an answer?
I mean,
Can I expect some?
I mean, of course we could, but everything depending how much you pay.
No, właśnie. Okay, that was it. Last question. We're back to the money thing again. All right. So, folks, thank you very much, Krzysztof, for the presentation. If you have any more questions, you can ask him later when we get into the networking phase. Once we get into socializing, you can ask all the questions you like. So, yeah, back to the money thing. So, folks, yes, we all know, that's why we're all here. There's a lot of money to be made in IT, and the more knowledge you have, the more valuable it is. I am here just to be a reminder. We talk about diversity in the IT community, and I'm here to remind you that this is what it's really all about, okay? That we need things that feed people. We need things that people can use. It's not always our talent to the highest bidder, and please remember that. Thank you. It's true. Who's next? Oh, Borawski. Okay. And our next speaker?
Łukasz Borawski.
Who's going to, his topic is let's disenchant NPM packages. Disenchant.
Disenchant, yeah.
I'm interested. Łukasz Borawski, where are you?
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Okay. Welcome to the stage, everybody. You have a microphone? Oh, you got it. Okay, he'll be right there. Maybe.
No, thank
Okay.
you. Maybe later.
Okay, maybe later. Good.
That is too hard.
Okay. Bardzo musimy to gotować, przygotować.
Już? Okay. Great. Hi guys. My name is Łukasz Borawski. I am tech team leader at Vue Storefront. You can find me on Twitter. I'm writing some on Medium, and of course on GitHub. So, Vue Storefront, I don't know if you heard about it, but we are building the front-end tooling for the headless e-commerce. Of course, we are hiring, so go grab and check our careers page. Okay, let's start from what NPM is. It's a tricky question because it's like two things at the same time. There is like a library for packages, of course, and at the same time that we have in the internet, and at the same time there is like a package manager tool and installer, like a CLI tool that you are running on your machine, you know, to run NPM packages for your applications. Okay, how many of you ever build or create NPM package? Okay, nice. How many of you ever built like application like React like this? I guess everybody, right? So for those who never built the NPM package, actually you done that because every application that you've built is at some point NPM package. Have you ever, how many of you ever release or publish NPM package?
Private.
No, I mean like
Private doesn't count.
publish. Okay, not private. Okay, how many of you using this command, npm init? Okay. So you know that you will run through the like a CLI tool that will ask you a couple of questions to build your first NPM package. So there will be like package name, version, description, entry point, and so on, right? So what you will get will be this file, like a regular JSON file. This will be like a package JSON file, of course, and you will get your, your setup for your package, of course. Okay, so your project structure or like package structure will be that you will get just the package JSON file in your directory. Okay, so let's say that you came up with this idea to create this awesome function, right? It's like it's changing the world, right? You are summing two numbers, right? And you want to share it with the world, and you want to release it as a, of course, npm package, right? So what you will create, and it's like a common to do, is to create like a SRC, which stands for source directory, and you will put there like index file, of course, and let's say it will be like in TypeScript, of course, because previously we had also a type for this function. So let's say that you want to add some additional files like editor config, to better work with your IDE, of course. And for this example, because we are using TypeScript, you want to add, of course, tsconfig, right? So what you need to do to release this package, or maybe to introduce this package for your audience, is to bundle it and, of course, translate it to CommonJS format and ECMAScript modules format, right? It will be like smaller, faster, and of course, for those who are not using, for example, TypeScript, it will be easier to just use it, right? And what kind of tools you can use it to bundle this package? Of course, you can use a Webpack. Some day ago, you could use Parcel. Thank you. And of course, right now, of course, it's Rollup. I'm thinking about the word because it's like a shining and rising star right now, because Rollup has awesome algorithms for hashing and building like chunks in the packages, right? So let's go with the Rollup. This will be like a config for the Rollup. So you will get like input for your file. This will be of course your source file in your package that we just created. Of course, you want to get an output, right? So we are using here like a reference to the package JSON file, of course, and you will create a file with the bundle for the CommonJS and ECMAScript, right? Also, you can use plugins for the Rollup because you are using TypeScript, so we need to translate it to like a regular JavaScript format, right? And strip TypeScript. So Rollup also provides like a huge ecosystem of plugins. So for example, you can of course use it for strip TypeScript and, for example, uglify your code in the bundle. And in your package JSON file, we will like declare these three things, because this will be like your entry points for your package, right? So this will be file for your CommonJS, ECMAScript, and the types, because we just created types for this package. What about TypeScript? If you want to add your types for your package, you can of course use TypeScript compiler, but at the same time, Rollup will help you to create types as well for your package, so you can use both. But I think like more default will be like to use TypeScript compiler. At the same time, Rollup will also help you, to watch your code while you are building your package and using it with certain applications, right? So After that, you will get this kind of structure. So you will get like, because in the output we want to use a folder for lib, which is library, and you will get these 3 files, and of course the rest of the structure of our package that we just created, right? So that's it. We can publish it, I guess, right? So we can right now run npm publish, of course, to publish this package because it's ready. But really, do we need like a source of this package? Do we need like editor config or test config? I mean, like every developer that will be using your package, that will be installing your package, and this package will exist in the Node modules, don't need like a source files and like a source code of this package. They need just like a bundled codes of this package. They don't need also like files that are specific, of course, for your project and the package that you are building, like editor config or test config. What we can do with those files that we don't want to publish, that we don't want to add to the final package, because it is, of course, important that the source code will be not bundled in your like a final code of your application, but still it will get like a lot of space on your computer, or also on your machine, that you will be like, you know, for example, running some kind of deployment, maybe to check application on the remote environment. Okay, so we have like 2 options. We can add npm ignore file, like git ignore, and we can like list all of these files that we don't want to put in our package. But at the same time, we can manage it through or from the package JSON. We just need to point that files that we want to publish. In our case, we just want to publish the lib directory where our like package files exist. We don't need any other files. To check our package, like a final execution, we can run npm pack, and we will get like archive of this package, and after that we will be able to just check what's in this package. Okay, then we can go with npm publish, and it's going to the moon. Okay, the next question: how to work with multiple packages? Because, for example, you know, that is using at the same time like a multiple packages. Of course, we can use monorepos, and we have a couple of options. We still have, or maybe we had like options to use Lerna, but right now Lerna is kind of old solution, also unstable because it was dropped by the author. Right now it's maintained by the NX corporation, I guess, but still, you know, it's unstable, right? But it's like a very advanced solution that also provides a lot of additional features that you don't need, of course, for like building packages, but for example to publish them at the same time. Okay, at the same time you can use like a new rising star, which is turbo repo. It's not like built and created to publish packages, like if you are building and you want to like publish multiple packages at the same time, but to work with packages inside your applications, it's super awesome. And if you never tried it, I totally recommend it. It's a great tool. Recently bought by the Warsaw, so I guess the money is going there, and I think it might be like a default solution in the future. And of course, we have NX, which is like a super huge, and in most cases might be overkill for your development. But still, it has like a lot of features that we should check. It might be interesting for you. Okay, back to Lerna. I mentioned that with Lerna we can publish our packages automatically. So just using the simple command Lerna publish, we can publish all the packages that we have in our monorepo. It will like create a new version for the packages, and of course will publish them automatically. Build them, publish, and will be fine. At the same time, if we don't want to like use the same version for all of our packages, we can use lerna publish from package, and this command will grab packages and its versions that we have inside our packages, and we'll publish it with the version that we want to, and it might be not like straight for all of the packages, right? Of course, at the same time, we can build some kind of a custom script to publishing if we are, for example, using turborepo, right? Okay, but this is when we are working with the monorepo, and we are working with our local environment. But what if we just need to like really publish this package and check if it's installing well and everything is fine with this package? We don't have any issues and problems. We have tags, so we can publish the package with the specific tag. And for example, it might be like a release candidate, for example, canary tag, right? So by default, all of your packages that you will be publishing will get like a latest tag, and you don't need to like define version of this package. If you will define latest, just right behind your package, it will of course install the latest version of this package. So you can see here that the default version of our package is 2.7.1, and it has like latest tag, and it will be like installed by default. But if we want to use this test version of our package, it will be if we will use like a canary tag, like this. Come on. If we will use like canary tag, we will like install this new version that we want to test and check if it's fine, if it's okay. Okay, what about versioning? It's common to use semantic versioning. I mean, we are using the patch. This is the last number in our number of in the number of version of our package. We have the minor package, and there will be like the middle number, and the major, and this will be like the patch is for in most cases for fixing something in the package. The minor is for the breaking changes in the package, but at the same time we are working with the same code, the same package. But if we want to like release the totally new version of this package, like if we are like building it from scratch, or maybe trying to refactor it also from scratch, we should use the major version. At the same time, we are jumping from 1 to 2 version. Okay, so how to update automatically the package? If we want to update the minor version, we are using this one. And if we want to update the patch, we are using tilde. And if we want to, for example, update, which is not recommended, update the package, if we are, for example, like releasing the major version of the package, we are using the latest tag for this package. Okay, I will jump quickly to my company again. So in the Vue storefront, we are building as I mentioned, tooling for the headless e-commerce. So we have like a lot of integrations for e-commerce platforms, like headless e-commerce platform, like Commerce Tool, BigCommerce, Magento, and so on. At the same time, we have like a lot of packages we have a lot of integrations for the third-party tools like CMSs, headless CMSs, payments, and searches, for example. So you can imagine that for all of these tools, we have like, for example, free package, because we are providing like API clients because we are using and we are working with the Vue ecosystem, we are providing also a package with the composables and some additional tooling, right? So at the same time, we have some kind of the core packages that are used inside all of these packages, and we have their like common code that is reused inside those packages. So these are like a very important one. And in my company, I have this nickname that I'm a release master. So that means that I am responsible for checking and releasing certain packages. For some time when we had like, not so big amount of packages, it was okay. But right now, when we have like a lot of them, we have like a couple, like a three person that are like release masters, right? So imagine my colleagues when I'm going for some kind of a holidays or like a sick leave, and they need to release some core package, right? So they are just look like this, right? So they are super scared, right? Because if you screwed up something, Jesus, it will be a lot of problems, right? So let's say that we want to like let's get back to our like awesome sum function that we want to release, and we have this mistake, right? That we are not summing this, and we just released this package. Yeah, so we are like jumping into the panic mode, right? Yeah. And that's me at this situation. So I'm coming and saying, okay, that's fine. We can do something. And what options do we have with that kind of situations? Of course, we can unpublish this package, but
within 48 hours.
What?
48 hours.
Yeah, so we have some kind of restrictions from NPM. We have less than 72 hours to unpublish the package. This package cannot create any dependencies. This must be less than 300 downloads. At the same time, this package has to one owner or author, right? But in most cases, if any if your package is used by the other packages, it's no go to like unpublish the package as a final. So not this one. What another options do we have? Of course, we need to point what kind of version we want to deprecate. And finally, if we will gonna deprecate the package, you will get this kind of notification inside the NPM that this package was, deprecated. And so it's super important to release a new version of the package, because unpublishing or deprecating, because while you are, for example, deprecating the latest version of your package, it will be like deprecated for the whole package, and user will get the error, or just like in terms of deprecating, they will install the latest fine version. Okay, this one. Can we like create our own rules for NPM? Right? Yes, we can. We can use, for example, like private packaging inside GitLab, GitHub, Bitbucket, the dev, and so on. At the same time, we can use Verdaccio, which is like on our server service that is handling packaging, and of course we can create special rules for the NPM packages. And at the same time, we can create that we are using. Is this on? That we are building the enterprise packages for our enterprise customers, and they will get like access to the private repository with, of course, credentials to certain packages that they want to like install with the applications. I'm finishing. Always use tilde before before defining the packages that you want to automatically update.
Yes?
I guess I
Thank
forgot
you.
about.
I wanted to ask you, thank you very much, by the way. Please give him a big hand. This is very funny. Is this on? Is this microphone working? Is it on? I want to ask if you'd be willing to answer some questions later.
Yeah.
When we get into the networking session, would you be available to answer questions? That was my question for you.
Okay.
Because clearly there's a lot of information that still is to be provided here, and we still have one more speaker. So I think what's happening now is we're going to take a 15-minute break and come back for the next speaker. And if you have any questions for this man, please don't hesitate. Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay, so my screen is shared, so I can say only because Barry is also doing some quite exceptional initiative. It's called Radio IT, and I wanted to encourage you to look for Radio IT in the internet. There are already 5 episodes, and we are also interested in new speakers, technical speakers. So if you're feeling that you might be a good speaker at Radio IT and have an interview with Barry Salone, you can always ask directly Barry. All right. So Barry, now it's your time. I give you back the microphone, and you will.
Let me use this for a second. Thank you very much. Yes, Radio IT. You can find it on Spotify. You can find it on Facebook, Apple Music, etc., etc. Please look it up. Go look for it right now. Give us a like on Facebook. We're looking to build a community. We've done 5 episodes on the audio market, and now we're going to do our first video podcast. And it seems to be growing. So the music is fantastic if you sit in front of a computer all day, and you'll really appreciate it. Now, I would like to introduce this young man, and I'm going to check my notes because I wasn't expecting him to be here. And so this is Damian Baczyński, and he's going to speak to you about Kotlin Multiplatform. Damian. You have?
Yes.
Cool. Are we good? Is my microphone working? Okay.
Hi, everyone. These are just my notes, so don't worry. My name is Damian Baczyński, and I am an Android developer here at Daftcode. Yes, you haven't misheard. I am an Android developer, and you are probably wondering what an Android developer has to say here. My answer is not much, really. But I am more of a Kotlin developer or Kotlin enthusiast. And Kotlin actually has something to say here. To be more specific, I'm going to talk about Kotlin Multiplatform and its usage in web applications development. Okay, but before we start, I have a little survey. So the first question is quite dumb. Is here anyone that know what Kotlin is? Like, raise your hand. Good. Okay. So how about Kotlin Multiplatform? Anyone? I like you. Okay. So let's start from the beginning of Kotlin, which is Kotlin JVM. If you haven't heard about Kotlin Multiplatform, this is like the default Kotlin. Like, this is what you identify with Kotlin as a whole. However, this is just a part of something bigger. So what is Kotlin JVM? It's a technology that allows you to compile Kotlin code to Java bytecode. It is interoperable with Java, so you can call Java libraries from Kotlin and Kotlin libraries from Java. And because of this association with JVM, you probably identify Kotlin with only Android and some backend development, but this is quite edgy. Okay, so as I said, there is more. So there is Kotlin Native, which is a technology that allows you to compile Kotlin to native binaries that run without a virtual machine, which is quite surprising because there is this, as I said, association between Kotlin and Java virtual machine. It supports multiple targets like Windows, Linux, iOS, which is quite important, and many more. It's also interoperable with C or Objective-C and Swift. It depends on the platform. It's C on like Windows, Linux, and this is Objective-C on like iOS. Okay, and last but not least is Kotlin.js. It transpiles to JavaScript, and this is like quite similar to TypeScript because both transpiles to JavaScript. Of course, we have this interoperability with JavaScript. So we can call, for example, window object from Kotlin. And as documentation says, current implementation of Kotlin.js targets AS5 standard. Okay, but what is this Kotlin multiplatform? Because it might seem that I haven't answered this question yet. Essentially, Kotlin multiplatform is those three branches of Kotlin. But there is one missing part, which is common Kotlin. This is an intersection of three Kotlin flavors or branches. So it supports all of the platforms. So we can compile common Kotlin to any platform. But there is actually one problem with this, because you can't directly refer to platform-specific stuff, like previously mentioned window object. So how to solve this problem? In a typical Kotlin multi-platform project, we have this common module which contains Kotlin common code. And we have multiple modules for each platform that our project supports. Okay, so let's assume that we want to generate some UIDs from common code. There is no such a functionality in Kotlin standard library. However, luckily, Android and iOS support it. We can do it with Java standard library or iOS foundation framework. So how to do it? So let's start with this expect. So we expect a random UID function that returns string. This declaration enforces us to implement this function on every supported platform. Without it, project just won't compile. Yes, so below we can see both of the implementations. And here we can see why interoperability matters. Because without it, we have just a language that compiles to everything, but you have to do everything from the beginning. So it's not that useful. The other important thing about interoperability is that we can migrate our projects gradually without crushing everything and starting from scratches. Okay, so there is a lot of multi-platform libraries that do this expect actual for you. And there is, for example, Kotlin serialization, which you know what it does. Kotlin datetime, again, you know what it does. There is Kotlin coroutines, which is a library for asynchronous programming. And this one is quite big because it's not just for multi-platform projects. It's like the default way of doing asynchronous programming in Kotlin. So this is quite big. There is a Ktor, which is HTTP client, and there is SQL Delight to work with local SQL databases. And there is many more libraries, smaller ones, but there is no guarantee that they support all of the platforms. Those support all of the platforms, by the way. Yeah, so we can go further. So what is the use case of this Kotlin multi-platform technology? The most common use case has a special and official name for it, which is Kotlin Multiplatform Mobile. The idea is that we can share a business logic layer and data access layer between Android and iOS app, and UI stays native to provide the best user experience. But where is JavaScript in all of this? So we can all imagine that we have a product that needs iOS app, Android app, and also a web app that works in browser. So you can share all of this code between those three platforms. So like write once, test once, break once, and fix once. But let's take this idea even further. Let's add a Kotlin backend to the equation. Now we can share code with the backend. The first thing that might come to your minds is that we can share DTO classes, which create some kind of data contract between clients and the server. But I think we can share even more. Like we can have an app that do some stuff locally that backends also can do, like simulate some backend behavior, or like for an app that can work offline, something like this. But what if I tell you that we don't really have to abandon Kotlin to write native UI? There is few Kotlin JS frameworks to do browser UI. But before that, another question. Who knows Jetpack Compose? OK. So this is a UI framework that's reactive, and this is for Android. The idea is we create our components with functions. So every component is essentially a function, which is called a composable. So from the composable, we can call other composables. And this is how we compose our UI. And also, we can see this expanded variable. This is our state. So you can figure it out that if we change the state, UI updates. Recently, JetBrains have made some effort to make Compose available for other platforms. And this is how Compose for Web came to life. It's essentially the same Compose, like in a core, because we have composable functions. We have the same state management, because this is exactly the same thing. The only things that differs is actually components. So here we use DOM elements, and the result of this UI is DOM hierarchy. And I think Compose for Web is like the most promising UI framework for Kotlin.js. There is a little more. There's like React Wrapper, which I don't really like as an Android developer, but not really because it's React, but because there is some boilerplate with it. So that's why I don't like it. There is also Kvision, less boilerplate, and even it has some products in production, which is quite impressive. But projects are not that impressive. Like they are like quite simple. So, and there is also Fritz 2 and Dodl. I have never tried them. Fritz is reactive, and Dodl does things that I don't understand. So you have to check it on your own. Yes, that was my last point. Here I have some statistics for you. This is from a survey conducted by JetBrains. It refers to Kotlin Multiplatform Mobile, but I think we can share the same amount of code with JavaScript platform. OK, so I hope you like the idea. I hope maybe one person, at least, try it. But yes, this is The end. Any questions?
Question. Anyone? Here we go.
Opinions are also appreciated. So if
Just question, please.
okay.
Please, thank you.
Hi, thanks for the presentation. I don't think it is. Thanks for the presentation. It was really, really cool. I'm wondering, some other solutions that I see that are similar are like React Native and Flutter. How do they compare to Kotlin?
Yeah, I expected that questions, but I'm not sure if I'm prepared because I haven't tried React Native and Flutter. I'm not sure how Flutter actually works, but I think Kotlin Multiplatform has this advantage of gradually migrating. You don't have to like do everything from scratches. And also, Flutter actually, I guess, had some issues with animations on iOS, but I'm not sure about it. So it's just like, I'm not sure.
Next question.
I got one. I don't speak Kotlin, so if you go back the code and explain what.
You want Jetpack Compose? This?
Yeah. So what are the far by?
Yes, I expected that because I know one front-end developer that asked exactly the same question. What is by? So exactly, essentially, by is a functionality that allows you to reuse some getters and setters logic. So there could be an easier example. So if you replace this remember with lazy, you actually get lazy initialization reused. You can reuse getter and setter logic here. Do you get it? So, okay.
It's like inheritance?
It's like delegation. So this variable will delegate to getter and setter of this object on the right side. This should be...
Was that clear for everyone? Silence. I guess you have to try it out is what you have to do. You really have to play with it a little bit and get some experience. Thank you very, very much. Any other questions? Any other? Here we go. One more.
Let's say that I feel inspired by your presentation. Have you personally used Kotlin JS on front-end on production?
Not on production, but in my pet projects.
Cool. I'm a little bit worried about performance. Like everything compiles to JavaScript nowadays.
Okay.
Opinion, like about performance. Have you stumbled upon any problems? Are there any problems in the community about performance of that solution?
Community might be a little problem. Like this is quite young, so there is not much Stack Overflow questions or anything like this. You sometimes might find yourself in a situation that there is no one to help you, really. But if you know JavaScript, you can always do some things natively, so that's not a problem. Like if you can do this from Kotlin, you can do this natively. About the performance, I'm not a performance man. I don't know, actually. But my app worked, I guess, so...
Well, performance, that's my middle name. So I'm going to perform. No, I'm joking. Thank you very much for your talk. If you have any more questions, you can ask them a little bit later when we get after the lightning talks, okay? Thank you. Give him a hand. Give him a hand. It's a great presentation. Well prepared. Yeah, so coming up, we have our first brave individual who actually showed up on the spot and decided he was gonna present a lightning talk. I'm not sure what the topic is. I was told that you'll know what he's talking about. You'll be familiar with it, and it has something to do with our previous speaker's topic. So I'm going to now call Jan to the podium and give a big hand to Jan. Do you need to set up your slides? Let's do that. Can you give us a hint what the topic is?
Sure.
So,
can we do it through Meet?
We can, I guess.
Because we have to stream.
So the topic is a look at the conflicts that could be caused, merge conflicts that could be caused by, for example, large-scale refactorings.
Large-scale refactoring. Okay.
Answer to the talk.
So.
Do you want this microphone?
Yes, please.
Okay, so
it's ready. Are you sharing, inviting me to the meet, or? I am on yes, but where is it? Sorry, I didn't anticipate this technical part. Janek Warchoł. Na Slacku WarsawJS, tak? Wyślesz mi zaproszenie i dołączę i poszeruję, tak?
Tak.
Dobra.
Znaczy ja potrzebuję. Potrzebuję stąd, tak.
W sensie, no dobra.
So there was one guy who gave me a definition because I have 0-1 knowledge of technology. So I asked, what is large-scale refactoring? And this guy over here gave me a really technical definition of what it is. And if I understood you correctly, if I had to use my language, I would say it's a cleaning house. Is that what it is? Just like making space for more. Is that what it's about? Refactoring?
Nie tego Slacka
It means that the larger your project is, the more garbage you have, the more junk you have to clear out, and the more space you can make for. Is that what it's all about? Just for making space and is it organizing? Is it?
in some way, organizing to be able to get some new benefit. I don't know, new place to exercise, or maybe to buy new stuff and maybe.
So it's not to overload your existing system. You
can compare it to renovation of your flat.
Renovation, really?
Yeah, like changing the colors of your walls.
That doesn't give you any more storage space, so I don't know.
This is
your wife is happy.
Aha, this is about making the wife happy.
It's mostly like subjective, so I like this framework more than the other. So I will make a huge refactor because this library is better, in my opinion.
I'm trying to visualize. I think you're just about ready. You ready?
It's here.
So
I mean, I've already.
You can memorize this by thinking of this like it's producing the same thing, but from other factory, but the specification is the same.
And what's the purpose of doing that? Why utilize another factory?
And you talk like a real business manager.
It's not renovating your apartment, it's reorganizing your apartment, so you've got more space, or it's faster.
That I like. I can understand that. Yeah, that's cleaning house. Organizing is making space.
Yes?
You guys ready? Here we go.
Okay. Can we get this full screen? Okay. I think it's good enough. Okay. Thank you for. Thank you for. So maybe I'll manage to do it before the battery runs out. So thanks for the introduction. And how many of you have encountered merge conflicts? I see some people who didn't. Is that possible? Did you enjoy the experience? Right? It's not really pleasant. But what if I told you that some merge conflicts you could solve without even looking at the code? And it could be the case of the nasty big ones when someone decides this is the moment to start linting our whole code base and runs a formatter across the whole code base and master, and every branch gets a merge conflict. And there's a solution to that. So let's visualize it. I hope it's not visible enough.
Can you mute?
Sorry?
Can you mute?
Mute. What do you?
Maybe a charger.
Do you have a charger? Do you have a power bank with USB-C? Because the cable is too short. Really? I'm not joking. That's the only solution.
You need this?
Can we make this full screen?
The charger.
Can you stop recording from here?
Start recording?
Stop recording.
Now.
Where's your meet?
My meet, yeah?
Yes, stop that and mute it.
Ah, sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that.
Okay,
It's fine now.
sure.
Good.
Okay. Sorry. I'm really one thing at a time person. So let's visualize the situation. So there is a master branch. We have some feature branches open. Someone runs linter or formatter on master branch. There is a commit that changes most of the files, and now all the branches get merge conflicts. I mean, unfortunately, it's not very visible, but most of the commits conflict with the master branch. We are not very happy. But fortunately, we can solve it as long as the formatting was automatical and we can redo it at will. There is a solution. So let's look at one branch at a time. And let's mark the commit that did the reformatting as the orange R. Forget for a moment about the changes that were after that. Let's integrate that change just before the reformatting into our feature branch and all the other feature branches. We have a situation like this. So this is this merge went quite well because it doesn't concern with this commit. So then we run the formatting tool or anything else on our feature branch and get another commit. I marked it in orange as well. It's also a reformatting commit. Is it enough? Can we just now merge master into feature? Unfortunately not. We would get merge conflicts because even though these two commits are very similar, we know that, but for Git they are not the same commits. So Git wouldn't know how to use them to solve the conflicts. But since we know, we can take advantage of the fact that the commits R and P are in fact very, very similar. And we can use a special flag for the merge. It's called strategy hours to merge in the R commit into our refactored feature branch. So that's the important part. Here we have the refactored code base. And here we have refactored code base with our changes, right? So basically, this commit is like this one with these two. And we tell Git, okay, now let's make a merge and just keep the file information from this commit. Don't think about anything that happened here. Don't try to solve anything. Just make the file content what was in here, but make a merge commit. And we have what we want. And then we can easily merge in this commit or any more commits that we could have on the branch. And that's it. That's the solution. Do I have 2 more minutes? Yeah. I guess so. Okay. So
refactor the connection we have.
Great.
So this R is a commit hash?
Yeah, I mean it's like we could use a commit hash on the command line, or we could create a temporary branch if we wanted to. So the bonus, we can simplify the history because I have to admit this looks pretty ugly, right? But fortunately, we can rewrite the n commit and change its parents so that Git will treat it as if it was created by merging this and this, which we were really after, but it was hard. So it works like this. There's a special command called replace, and we say, okay, replace P with E. So everywhere where there is P, replace it with E. And this would mean that this new commit would have as its parent R, as it had before, and instead of P, it would have the second parent would be E. But the state will be the same, because in Git, commits are snapshots. So that's still a state we want.
Slowly.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Do you agree?
It's lightning talk, it has to be.
That's right.
Yeah, so basically that's all. I can share the slides because I know no one can remember these arcane commands. I have used this command 3 times in my life, and I consider myself pretty proficient with Git. So,
Nice.
Thank you. So I will share the slides on Slack, and there's also actually sorry, I did the slides for a talk previously. I didn't translate the slide, but there is a practical exercise. Unfortunately, it's Python code because it was not meant for WarsawJS originally. But just this case when you have a formatting conflict, so you can practice if you want.
Everyone's asked their questions already? Yes? No more questions? You have one? Go for it, Arthur.
I would like, so...
Wait. No, there must be microphone. Come on.
I can't get it to go on, so if you can fix it, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Go ahead, we can hear you.
Can everybody online hear me? Good, okay. So, is there anything better than if you would just check out to a detached commit at this stage and then cherry pick this new change, and then we would rebase this refactored code onto our old state with cherry picked new changes, but before reformatting?
You mean if we cherry pick C and E on top of R?
No, on F. Before reformatting, and then we would cherry pick reformatting commit onto the new branch.
So cherry picking C and E on top of F, everything works perfectly.
I need to give up my phone.
But unfortunately, that wouldn't really help us much. And as long as, I mean, if there were conflicts between R and E, if the refactoring touched the changes in the code that was changed in these 2 commits, we would get a conflict anyway. Like rebasing wouldn't solve it.
Your solution is to get rid of all of the conflicts at all. So, because my solution is solving with the smallest possible chance of conflict.
As far
is your solution is getting rid of all of the possible merge conflicts? Okay.
Yes.
So it's better. Okay. I'm impressed.
Good question.
And you don't even have to look at the code.
In the opinion category, this is where we get in trouble. Yes. This is why it's questions and not opinions. Okay. Now I'm asking for opinions. Does anyone have? I'm joking. Thank you very much. That was a great presentation and very well done. Spur of the moment. Spur of the moment. So I'm thinking that someone else here probably has.
I would like to take a shot with the lightning talk, which will...
We have enough for you. Well, hold on. Since you're the guy, you're the first one that caught my attention. Hold it, save it for when you get up here. So if you have what it takes to give a lightning talk, this crowd is very easy to please. They're not very critical, not very analytical, so it should be a lot of fun for you.
Yeah, I'm not so prepared as my colleague.
Yeah, he was pretty prepared. I was impressed. And what is your name, sir?
My name is Rafa.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, wait, before you say anything, let me give you a proper introduction.
Sorry, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, and all the rest of us, this is Rafael. And what, Rafael, is going to be the topic of your lightning talk?
Let's create a catchy topic. Catchy topic will be avoid long-lived branches, feature branches. Those were...
Avoid long-lived feature branches.
Yeah, we saw that.
Okay, but before you go on, that's the title?
Yeah, that's the title.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, give him another hand. Here we go. 5 minutes.
Okay. Thank you.
I like that it starts with avoid. It's my kind of talk. Okay, here we go.
Best. As I said, I'm totally unprepared, or I have this.
No, clearly you're prepared. You can
unprepared, so I have no slides, so I will improvise. And it was quite some time for being like on the front of so many people, at least 3 years. Now I was working here at Samsung a few years ago. Yeah, so long-lived branches, we saw them on the presentation here, and the problem was with the long-lived branches that we have conflicts, and I used to say it's a merge hell. Yeah, if we have a lot of developers in the project and a lot of feature branches, we can say it's a hell. Yeah, to merge it all, to release them to production. Yeah, and to have a person in the project who knows what is happening right now and what is or what isn't merged and how it should be done. And I have a solution for you. Feature, but not branches. Feature flags. Always incorporate in your code the feature flags. What the feature flag is, it's just a simple condition in your code, additional condition. Normally, it will not be there, but you would like to have it because your feature isn't ready. But you did some refactoring, you did some reformat of the code, and you would like to share it with all other developers in your team as soon as possible. Yeah? So wrap your code in the feature flag and do not launch it on particular environment. So your code will be still deployable to particular environment, but until you switch it, it isn't there, but your code is. So you can share your, I don't know, you built some library or some generics and you refactored some code and you are proud of it. And you will not wait until your feature is finished. And your feature will, I don't know, evolve for a month because you would depend on backend or, I don't know, UX, UI designer or stuff like that. Yeah? And if you are waiting with your refactoring, it will be harder and harder to merge it back to the master because master doesn't wait for you. It's just flowing. That's right?
That's an incredible solution. Hold on, wait 1 second. Did anyone else come up with the same idea? I'm just wondering if this is an original idea, something that you came up with, or if it's something...
it's not original.
2 months ago, Barry, I think you weren't there, but there was a talk about feature flags. It was a full-time talk. Yeah.
However, Raphael, great job. Give him a hand, everybody. All right. It was
Thank
clear,
you very much.
and you got your JetBrains license. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
There was
much.
another person over here interested in saying something, I think. Hold on a second, let me go find him. Thanks, Raphael.
Thank you.
That was pretty good. I even understood some of that. I think it's you. Did you have something to say?
I had a question for the previous stuff.
Oh. Should I whistle? No. Oh, there he is. Okay, he's still there. Go ahead, give it to him.
Okay, then. So basically, like the core of your method was using git merge strategy hours, and we'll be git merge strategy hours the refactored master branch onto our feature branch, right? And like if there's any conflict, we'll be preferring our change on the feature branch over the master change. But that's like based on the assumption that the refactoring, the large-scale refactoring that we are doing, will go exactly the same on the feature branch and on the master branch. But isn't it dangerous that if our change on the feature branch will get refactored in a different way, there'll be a different change, we will lose the change on master because strategy hours will always prefer our change, and it will not understand that functionality will be slightly different or something like that. If the change in the lines is in the same lines, we'll always get our change, and we might lose some change from master.
Clear?
Well, so I would.
There's no microphone, and I think they want to hear you online. There you go.
So yes, that's a valid question, and I would say the primary target of this method is when the change that you made on master, the refactoring, the formatting, is something that is automated, and you know that the program that does the change keeps doesn't change the way how the code works. I mean how it behaves from the outside. It only changes the formatting or changes some things like I don't know how objects are structured, but not how they behave on the outside. So if the thing that you're using to change the code works in this way, then you can be pretty safe that this merge will go well.
Pretty safe, you say.
Mm-hmm. I would have to give it more thought, but I think as long as you are using a tool that automates, as long as it's a process that can be automated, I think there shouldn't be a problem.
Thank you for still being here, for answering that question. Good answer, right? I think we have an announcement.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Your
sir.
announcement?
Yours.
My announcement is that we are going to have a pizza soon. But before, there will be a last lightning talk from Pavel and Chris. Yeah.
Tag team.
The tag team, yeah.
Come on to the stage. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All I heard was pizza. I didn't hear the rest. What was your name, sir, again?
Chris.
I remember you. Yes, of course. Hi, Chris. Paul, nice to meet you. I think maybe you have one. There's two microphones.
Yes, they're setting up. So in short, quick history. I'm Chris. He's Pavel. We met almost a year ago here on the WarsawJS, and we both self-taught developers. And we found we have two things in common. First is the JavaScript. The second one is the thing that people hate here, but it's a blockchain. And actually, we won a couple hackathons since that time, and we just want to share today with you with one of our findings. When we won those hackathons recently, we thought maybe it's a good idea to start to learn blockchain itself. And we found a great learning source from FreeCodeCamp, which is not published yet, and it's based on our native language, which is JavaScript. So if anyone wants to learn how blockchain works, what is blockchain, we have a short demo of one of the examples we forked and compiled to TypeScript, and showing how easy and fun this can be. Okay, I pass the mic to Pavel.
Right. So hello everyone once again, and like Krzysztof said, for most of you probably we are scammers and liars and cheaters, and this will be, I'm sure, that most hated talk about nonsense and total bullshit Web3 and blockchain. And we are also of the same conviction, by the way. We also think that most of the Web3 stuffs are nonsense and they don't make any sense. However, we're still enthusiastic about it, and we took this journey for more than a year of trying to learn those technologies. Meanwhile, we won a couple of hackathons. And so we want to share our, let's say, learnings with you. By the way, I also want to say that we are not experts and we don't consider ourselves like that, totally not. We are just self-taught and we are just learning, so we want to share our, let's say, findings with you. So recently, FreeCodeCamp started working on a Web3 curriculum, and we were inspired by it. So currently we are creating our own blockchain version from scratch in TypeScript. We have just a very simple blockchain right now in TypeScript, but we are going to add also the peer-to-peer connection based on WebSockets, create our own NPM package, let's say, for connecting this, creating, let's say, the RPC connection with blockchain and the front-end part. And we are going to publish on our channel. So if you want, it's a completely non-profit channel. We are not getting anything on, so just feel free to check it out. And as you can see here, for example, on my screen, this is the current version of the blockchain. So here, as you can see right now, it's empty. I will just initiate the blockchain once again. But because of this, I cannot run it. So let's just init the blockchain. And normally it will just reset this array with the blocks. And as you can see, we have just the first Genesis block. And let's generate some wallet. For example, Krzysiek. As you can see right now, we don't have wallets. So when I click this one, as you can see, we have the wallet generated. I don't know, Krzysiek, do you want to say something about how do we create this?
It's based on the the entire hashing stuff, it's based on the elliptical cryptography, which is the nice finding when we are working on it, that we have elliptic curves and in the JavaScript implemented in a quite useful way. So this one was it, and we have here the public and the private key, which is based on pin 192 elliptic curve.
And by the way, I will just enter for 6. So as you can see, for example, still we don't have any block added to the blockchain. Just one.
Okay, and the technical.
So, but as you can see, we have the transaction in the transaction pool. So we need to mine it. This is this mining process, and here we have this very simple method for mining the blocks. So I will just run this function. It should hash it, and as you can see right now, the transactions should be empty, and the new block is added here with the new hash. So that's all. Thank you so much. And if you want, feel free to ask us, and feel free to hate us also. Thank you so much.
Yeah, can I just ask something? There's something about this couple of hackathons that keeps bothering me. What do you mean a couple of hackathons? Does that mean 2? Does that mean 3?
He's 5. I'm for.
Actually, I took part in 12 or 13 hackathons just this year.
How many did you win?
6 or 7.
Okay, we hate you. That's enough. That's it. Yeah, feel free to hate them. I love it. Okay. A couple of hackathons. I kept hearing that ringing in my ears. Clearly very talented, very interesting information. Anyone have any questions? Uh-huh. Oh my God. It's you. Go ahead, take that.
So, you know how people are working on fusion energy? What's like the blockchain thing that what needs to be solved or innovated so that there are lots of useful cases that aren't BS or aren't hype or whatever? Like what is it waiting for? What does it need technologically, or I don't know what else is it? What's missing? Yeah.
That's very philosophical. I did hear the BS word. You said it before, didn't you? Yeah. So okay. No harm. Here you go.
Should I answer? Do you want to answer? Maybe
I can answer this question. Technologically, the technology which takes blockchain together, it's over 20 years old, not 10. Even Bitcoin is based on the peer-to-peer network or some based on cryptography. But actually, what it needs to be done for blockchain to be really the thing. To understand what the capabilities are. We are still talking in the blockchain community that we are in the morning. Yes, just like before a .com bubble. So the real usage, the real usability is the work in progress. Yes, we're still discovering where it can be done. Yes, the Bitcoin is the store of value, but for example, there are some blockchains which takes the chains of logistic chains, they track the logistic chains, and maybe you can imagine that every place where you need a ledger which is immutable is a good place for a blockchain. Yes, and the biggest issue for now, I guess, is scalability.
Would quantum blockchain be a thing in the future?
Oh God.
Quantum blockchain. I guess so. For now, there are works on finding the solution for quantum proven, quantum resistant blockchains. Because for now, most of them actually, is not quantum resistant, which is a big issue. But
okay, so like with NFTs,
have the quantum blockchain because blockchain should be deterministic and quantum physics by your own.
Blockchain should be deterministic, but it needs to be quantum resistant. Yes, the whole cryptography needs to be quantum resistant.
I was just talking about how there's that problem in computing where if you can compute something, you can duplicate it and copy it, and like with NFTs, how you can just take a screenshot. Do you see anyone innovating in that space in a way that would make it? I guess you could at the CPU level have something that would just like we already have this sort of in Windows, right? Where you try to take a screenshot of like YouTube and the OS prevents you from doing that. So do you see that needing to happen where all our systems will have?
No, it's more complex question because, for example, you can have a copy of Mona Lisa, but is it the real Mona Lisa? No. Yes, and the same is with the blockchain of, for example, NFTs. You have this proof, yes, the signed proof of this
The one NFT is original. The rest of them are just
But I
copies.
guess, I mean, the issue is that you can't ever directly link it to a physical object in a way that would be provable. Or
Actually, we were one of the projects we won at the hackathon was just about that. So.
Yeah, so by the way, recently we were in top 6 projects during the Warsaw hackathon, and actually we just did that, what you said. And by the way, I agree with you that for now, most of the Web3 crypto NFTs are this huge BS, and yeah, they are completely misused. However, it doesn't mean that this technology doesn't have any, let's say, purpose. For example, we tried to connect the physical items with the NFTs during the Warsaw hackathon. So we printed out the, let's say, key rings. So imagine that, for example, you bought the ticket for this, let's say, for this event, and the tickets are stored on the blockchain. So of course you can copy the ticket, you can copy it, but you cannot you have to verify somewhere. So this is the whole motto behind blockchain Web3. So don't trust, verify. So imagine that there can be plenty of people with copied NFTs, but just the one will be verifiable on the blockchain. So you have to prove it that you have it on your wallet and it's on that particular chain, and it points to that particular address. I don't want to go into this because we would need probably at least 15 more minutes, but we can talk after that. But I also wanted to add one more thing before I finish about the usage. So many people are saying that we will transition from Web 2 to Web 3, which is complete BS. I'm so sorry, but I totally don't believe it. And in my humble opinion, it will never ever happen. But I may be wrong. But still, there is some, let's say, purpose of that, because imagine that right now we have Google, we have Facebook, we have YouTube, huge corporate organizations, and it's great because they provide us a lot of free services, and we don't have to pay. Then some of them, but we are selling our private data, etc. Okay, it's true, but still, imagine there's a huge cost of storing your data and everything, and they are doing it, well, not for free, but you can use it for free. And if you want to do the same on the blockchain, well, you can do that, but you will have to pay for everything. Therefore, there's this gas fee, etc. So even for, let's say, imagine that you would have to pay like $2 or $3 for adding just single post on Facebook. But think about it, that if right now someone decides to bomb, let's say, okay, just 10 seconds, all of the, let's say, Google servers. Yes, okay, anyway, thank you.
Thank you very much. Even you, Arthur, are not going to stop it.
I do have one comment. This reminds me of a conversation I had with my cousin. He was a reverend, like a priest, and he was very interested in the idea of cloning. He said to me, okay, because the difference between the original and the copy, okay, we all have genetic markers. Yes, it's the same thing as an imprint. It's this very similar topic. And he said to me something that enlightened me on this topic. He said, well, if you clone something, it has no soul. I said, what do you mean it has no soul? He said, just the actual original is the only one who has the soul. Do we have something that can actually watermark or, okay, DNA is one thing. Yeah, cloned objects. If you just clone something, one thing after another, there's only one original. And then the original is the one that actually has the soul. That's the authentic one. Is that a similar topic? Yeah, it is. Oh, if we're going to get philosophical, let's go for it. Yeah?
I want to add one thing.
I'm out of here after this, by the way. The pizza's coming, but once he comes on the stage, I'm gone. All right. So I want to thank everyone. Yeah, I want to thank everyone for your attendance. You've been very patient. I'm out of here. I'm giving the microphone to this guy. Okay. Pizza is on its way. Here you go.
So if somebody would be interested in cryptography, in quantum physics and cryptography, then check out Andrzej Dragan's interview on Radio Wnet. And he's been explaining everything there. I really recommend it. Thank you very much. Have a good pizza.
That's it? Yes. I'm in total shock. So, once again, we need to thank our sponsors because they're the ones that make this all possible. Most notably, Daftcode. Give them a big hand. For making the space available. Look at the beautiful view. Take pictures while you're here. It's a good idea. And also Box, CallStack, CD Projekt, Evolution, Fresha, Prisma, and Xfang. So thank you all. It's been a pleasure. See you next time. Yes? There's more? Let's see. I'll see if there's more. Oh, of course, remember to look for and check us out at Radio IT on Facebook or on any of your major social media platforms where you find music. We got great music for you if you're programmers, and also looking for interesting topics. What the idea of this show is this. We want people to know that when you get to Warsaw, you don't fall off the planet. In other words, people from America think like, Warsaw, what? What's going on? People need to know this is a vibrant culture and it's all happening here, as you can see. So once again, we want to thank you all, and we hope that you have a great evening, and thanks for your participation. Thank you very much. Luisa Piocentara, here is the pizza. Good night.